Hit that like button, subscribe. Welcome to another episode, Focus Daily TV. Today we'll speak about the formation of the banks. Not banks in general, but banking as we know it today. A banking system that is set up based on fiat currency, which is powered by the backing of men's souls, believe it or not, through reclassification, registration, things such as birth certificates and social security numbers. You know, the stuff we speak about over here on Focus Daily TV, the law. As usual, we'll be watching a short video to sum up the information that I'm presenting to make it more digestible for those who may not be so well versed in legal terms and legalese. I try to make it simple to get this important point across. Once again, here on Focus Daily TV, we speak about biblical prophecy, how everything took place, and how the situations that brought us to where we are today as a people occurred. One of the main conspirators was the banking organization, J.P. Morgan and them. I'm not going to hold y'all too long. We're going to get straight to it. Let's go.
A full 3/4 of a century passed between the second bank's demise in 1836 and the passing of the Federal Reserve Act in 1913.
So we're going to get straight into it. The second charter of the banking industry was ended. Initially, bankers were allowed to conduct business in this land through charters. However, that charter ended, and the bankers began to conspire in a way to take over the total banking industry and introduce this fiat system that I speak of. Around 1913 is when the registrations and the reclassifications officially began.
What happened during all that time?
The United States didn't have a central bank, and that led to problems. For more than 25 years, there was no federal banking regulation at all. Banks were chartered by states, and in some of those states, legislators controlled who received charters to open banks.
So basically, each individual company was allowed to pursue banking for their individual states, I should say. However, ultimately, they had no authority in this land. They were just given, once again, a charter. And once those charters expired, they were to end their banking pursuits and return back to the laws of the land.
This led some unscrupulous people to bribe state legislators.
Why were they bribed?
To give certain people bank charters while barring others from getting them. In time, more than 15 states sought to remedy this influence peddling by passing free banking laws.
So basically, they wanted to be in control of the system rather than the Afro-Americans, who are the indigenous natives of this land. So they wanted some people to be able to control it and others not to have any control. Translation.
These laws allowed anyone to open a bank, to open banks. This led some unscrupulous people to bribe state legislators.
Why were they bribed?
To give certain people bank charters while barring others from getting them. In time, more than 15 states sought to remedy this influence peddling by passing free banking laws. These laws allowed anyone to open a bank, so long as they met some very minimal requirements.
But what about paper money? Who supplied that?
Minimal requirements such as being a part of certain organizations and brotherhoods and fraternities and being aligned with people such as J.P. Morgan and the Rothschilds. They essentially were attempting to take over the whole finance system rather than accepting that their charter had ended.
Well, throughout this period, banks, and sometimes even companies, issued their own banknotes. And some of these notes were very untrustworthy because of unsafe banking practices or even outright.
You know, I know history is not exciting as what rappers are doing, what celebrities doing, but this information is very important. That's why I'm attempting to make it simple for you to understand. Just pay attention and listen. So,
Fraud.
You like the cow, eh? Cost you $10.
A fair price. 5, 6, 7.
Wait a minute. I've never seen those before. What bank are they from?
They're from Stormy Ridge Bank, as you can see.
Stormy Ridge Bank?
so once again, you see, they begin to attempt to change the monies, as the Bible speaks of, money changers. Simple and plain.
I never heard of them.
In 1863, while the Civil War raged, Congress passed the National Banking Act. The law promoted
Civil War was actually an uprising, a coup of the natural government of this land. More on that later.
nationally chartered banks, which could issue notes that were backed by U.S. Treasury securities.
The National Banking Act also established the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. The OCC provided oversight of those national banks. Now,
All of them in trouble. All of them.
with a more uniform currency, a dollar from any of those banks could be trusted to be worth a dollar throughout the country.
The National Banking Act was passed during the Civil War, 50 years before there would be a Federal Reserve.
During those years, there was plenty of time
It was a long, drawn-out plan, but it was all a plan nonetheless. And it initialized, with this information that I'm presenting right here, the end of the charters and the forced introduction of world banks.
to have some pretty serious financial crises.
All right, that's it for today. Focus Daily TV. We like to keep it concise and to the point. Hit that like button, subscribe, support the channel. Hashtag Focus Daily TV. Till next time, we out.